Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world of constant noise, a world that pulls at your attention every second of the day, demanding your energy, your time, your focus. And yet, in the middle of that chaos, there's one undeniable truth. The person who can master their focus, who can tune out the noise and lock in on what truly matters, becomes a force of nature. Focus is not a luxury. It is your superpower. It's not a soft skill, it's your edge. Because when you focus, when you truly commit to one vision, one mission, one standard, you don't just make progress. You become unstoppable. And tonight, we're going to talk about how that power lives in you and how to unleash it. Focus is a decision, not a feeling, a truth that separates the driven from the distracted, the achievers from the dreamers. Too many people wait for the perfect mood, the right environment, or a surge of inspiration to finally lock in and do what they know they must. But focus doesn't show up on its own, it's summoned. It's a conscious act of will, not an emotional accident. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. The world is full of intelligent people who never do anything remarkable because they never decide to direct their energy with precision. Focus is not about being in the mood, it's about being in control. It's about waking up and saying, I choose what I give my attention to today. I choose what gets my energy and what doesn't. And you make that decision again and again, even when you're tired, even when the distractions are tempting, even when the comfort zone whispers for you to sit back down. Because greatness lives on the other side of discipline, not emotion. You don't wait to feel powerful to act. You act powerfully to feel it. You don't wait to feel focused. You choose to be focused, and your feelings follow. This is how champions operate. They're not emotionally reactive. They're purpose-driven. They don't look for motivation. They build it by choosing intentional focus day after day. Think about it. If your focus was dictated by your mood, by the weather, by the chaos around you, you'd never achieve anything significant. But when you take full ownership, when you say, no matter what's happening outside, I choose to lock in on what matters most, you become unstoppable. That's the moment your life starts to bend in the direction of your will. Most people scatter their energy. They multitask, chase dopamine, react to every notification like Pavlov's dog. But focused people, they're different. They train their mind like a laser, not a lantern. They're not afraid to cut out what doesn't matter. They don't need 20 priorities. They need one mission, and they protect it fiercely. Because every time you say yes to a distraction, you're saying no to your destiny. That's not dramatic. That's reality. And it's why deciding to focus, before you feel like it, is the most powerful gift you can give yourself. Focus is freedom. It's the discipline of saying, I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if I'm bored. I don't care what's going on around me. My mission matters more than my mood. And once you truly understand that, you stop chasing feelings and start creating results. You stop needing external motivation and start producing internal momentum. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't knowledge. It's consistent focus. It's choosing every single day to show up for what matters most, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. That's what separates you. That's what builds confidence. That's what creates transformation. So the next time you catch yourself drifting, distracted, or waiting for the perfect feeling, remind yourself of this. Focus is not something you find. It's something you decide. And the moment you do, everything begins to change. Distraction is the enemy of destiny. Subtle, seductive, and deadly to everything you're capable of becoming. It doesn't come crashing in with alarms. It creeps in quietly, disguised as entertainment, busyness, comfort, or even responsibility, pulling your attention away from what truly matters. Every time you give in to a distraction, you're not just wasting time. You're robbing your future, delaying your growth, and weakening your purpose. Your destiny doesn't require perfection. It requires presence, and distraction fractures that presence into pieces too small to build anything meaningful. The people who rise, the ones who break barriers and shift the world, are not necessarily the most talented. They're the most focused. They understand that life is short, energy is limited, and attention is currency, and they protect it like their mission depends on it, because it does. In this modern world, you are constantly bombarded by things fighting for your eyes, your ears, your thoughts. Notifications, headlines, gossip, comparison, it's all noise. It's all designed to keep you busy, reactive, and average. But you weren't born for average. You weren't built to scroll your life away or bounce from one thing to another, never finishing what you start. Distraction doesn't just slow you down. It blinds you from your purpose. It whispers just for a moment. And before you know it, years have passed, dreams have faded, and you're living someone else's life. Every great calling requires undivided attention. Every bold vision demands that you tune out the world and tune into your inner voice. If your mind is scattered, your impact will be diluted. If your time is stolen by trivial things, your potential becomes a casualty. This is not a matter of preference, it's war, and you win by choosing to be intentional. You win by building focus into your lifestyle, by saying no more than you say yes, by guarding your time like it's gold, because it is. You win by understanding that distraction will cost you more than you'll ever see in the moment. It steals in inches, but the damage adds up in miles. You don't get destiny by dabbling. You don't fulfill your purpose by grazing on content, reacting to noise, or jumping from goal to goal with no depth. You build it through focus, through deliberate attention, through fierce protection of your priorities. The most dangerous thing about distraction is how normal it feels. It feels harmless. It feels like rest. But it's a slow death to your fire, your direction, and your momentum. The moment you decide to pursue your highest calling, distraction will rise up stronger than ever. It's not just about managing time, it's about managing attention. And if you don't control it, someone else will. Your phone, your surroundings, your emotions. Any of them can own your focus if you let them. But once you recognize distraction for what it is, the enemy of your growth, the killer of your dreams, you stop treating it casually. You start treating it like a threat, because that's exactly what it is. Every masterpiece, every empire, every break through you admire was built by someone who refused to be distracted. They locked in, they made sacrifices, they got uncomfortable, and they stayed the course. The same power lives in you. You just have to reclaim it. Start by asking, what am I allowing to pull me away from what matters? Who or what has access to my mind that doesn't deserve it? What am I tolerating that's stealing my clarity, my time, my purpose? Your destiny is not waiting for you to get inspired. It's waiting for you to eliminate distraction, to go deep, to get clear, to stay the course, to stop giving a damn about every little thing and start giving everything to the one thing that matters most. That's how you break through. That's how you live without regret. That's how you rise above the noise and become a force that can't be ignored. Because once you remove distraction, what's left is raw power. Focused, intentional destiny, shaping power. And that power has always been in you. Now it's time to use it. Say no to what doesn't serve your vision. It sounds simple, but it's one of the most powerful and difficult disciplines you'll ever develop. And it's the line that separates those who merely wish for success from those who build it. Your vision is sacred. It's not just a goal. It's the future you are creating with your time, your energy, your focus, and your choices. And every single yes you give to something that does not align with that vision is a step off course, a leak in your momentum, a compromise that chips away at your destiny. The truth is, most people fail not because they lack talent or drive, but because they say yes too easily, to distractions, to obligations, to opinions, to things that pull them in 10 different directions and leave them exhausted, scattered, and off purpose. You cannot build an extraordinary life while living with ordinary boundaries. You cannot Create a powerful future while constantly managing the comfort of others or pleasing everyone around you. You must become ruthless, not cruel but clear. Clear about what belongs in your life and what doesn't. Clear about who fuels your purpose and who drains it. Clear about which opportunity expand your future and which ones only flatter your ego. And then you say no. No to the comfortable habits that keep you stagnant. No to the endless scroll that numbs your mind. No to the relationships that bring drama but no growth. No to the commitments that pull you away from your priorities. You protect your vision by guarding your decisions. Every no to something misaligned is a yes to something greater. Your mission, your health, your peace, your impact. People will not always understand. They'll say you've changed. They'll question your priorities. They'll call you intense or selfish, but that's the price of clarity. That's the price of choosing your path instead of inheriting someone else's. You don't owe your vision to people who don't see it. You don't need approval for boundaries that protect your future. The world is full of noise, demands, and distractions that will consume your life if you don't choose consciously what deserves your energy. Your time is not infinite. Your focus is not unlimited. Every yes you give should be earned by alignment with your purpose. If it doesn't make you better, build your dream, or grow your soul, it's a no, not later, not maybe, just no. That's how you create room for the real yes. The things that light your fire, stretch your limits, and shape you into the person your vision requires. Because here's the truth. The stronger your yes becomes, the clearer and more courageous your no must be. This is how leaders live. This is how legacy is built. Not in saying yes to everything, but in having the strength to walk away from what no longer serves the mission. So if you're tired of being stuck, scattered, or overwhelmed, look at what you've been tolerating. Look at where your time and energy are going. You don't need more time. You need fewer leaks. You don't need more motivation. You need fewer distractions, and that starts by saying no with conviction. Saying no to the shortcuts, no to the doubt, no to the drama, no to everything that looks good but takes you off track. Because when you say no to what doesn't serve your vision, you finally become free to build a life that does. And that's when things begin to shift. Not someday, not when it's convenient, but the moment you decide to honor your future more than your feelings, that's when you rise. Obsession is the price of greatness, not interest, not casual effort, not part-time passion, but full, blown, relentless, all-in obsession. The kind that consumes your thoughts, fuels your mornings, keeps you awake at night, and makes you come alive with purpose. Greatness does not come to those who dabble or those who balance everything perfectly. It comes to those who burn with intensity, those who are willing to be misunderstood, judged, doubted, even ridiculed because they refuse to settle for mediocrity. Obsession is not a weakness. It is a weapon, a focused fire that separates the extraordinary from the ordinary, the committed from the curious, the leaders from the followers. Most people fear obsession because it doesn't fit into a comfortable life. It breaks routine, challenges norms, and demands sacrifice. But comfort never made history. Nobody remembers the lukewarm, the ones who achieve massive impact, who shift industries, who redefine what's possible. Those are the obsessed ones, the ones who refuse to let go, who see possibility where others see risk, who get up every single day asking, how do I get better? How do I go deeper? How do I level up? It's not a hobby, it's not a phase, it's an identity. When you're obsessed, you don't need motivation because your vision becomes your oxygen. You breathe it, you bleed it, you live it. You don't make excuses, you make progress. You don't take weekends off from your purpose. You build even while others rest. This is the mindset that builds empires, that writes the books people quote, that stands on stages others only dream of. But make no mistake, obsession comes with a cost. It means saying no to comfort, no to distractions, no to approval. It means you may feel alone because few are willing to walk the narrow road of total commitment. But the payoff is beyond anything a balanced, average life can give you. It's the deep fulfillment of knowing you've squeezed every ounce of your potential into something that matters. It's the freedom of knowing that you gave it everything. Not half effort, not almost, but everything. And that's when greatness becomes inevitable. not because of talent alone, but because obsession pushes you to train when others quit, to learn when others sleep, to keep showing up long after most would have walked away. You become undeniable, and the world starts to bend toward your energy because obsession creates gravity. People feel it, they're drawn to it, they follow it. So if you want to achieve something extraordinary, you must first be willing to be obsessed. Not just committed when it's convenient, but married to the mission through all seasons. That's the price, that's the standard. Because while most people are looking for balance, the great ones are pouring everything into purpose. And in the end, the world doesn't reward average. It rewards the obsessed. When you focus, you become unstoppable. Not because life gets easier, but because your mind becomes sharper, your actions more deliberate, and your energy more potent than ever before. Focus isn't just about eliminating distractions. It's about aligning every fiber of your being toward a single mission, a goal that ignites your spirit and refuses to let go. The moment you lock in on what matters most and decide that nothing will pull you off course, you access a version of yourself most people never meet. The version that doesn't flinch in the face of setbacks, doesn't get seduced by comfort, and doesn't waste time chasing things that don't serve the bigger picture. That kind of focus builds power, and power builds momentum, and momentum changes everything. Suddenly, you move with clarity, you speak with certainty, you execute without hesitation, you stop second, guessing and start trusting. Your inner critic gets quieter because your vision gets louder. While others are scattered, reactive, and overwhelmed by options, you've chosen one direction and are burning everything in your path to reach it. The world will try to test you. Opportunities will pop up that look good but dilute your attention. People will demand your time for things that feel urgent but are ultimately irrelevant. Focus is what allows you to say no without guilt, to stay the course when no one else sees the destination, to resist the temptation of being everything to everyone, because you know who you are and you know what you're building. And when you move with that kind of intention, resistance starts to collapse. The right people show up, the right doors open. Your results multiply, not because you're doing more, but because you're doing what matters most with intensity and consistency. That's the secret weapon. Focus isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter, deeper, and more consistently in the direction of your destiny. It's about channeling your mind, your body, and your heart into one unified force. That's where transformation happens. That's where confidence is born, not from theory, but from execution, not from potential, but from results. You don't become unstoppable by chance. You become unstoppable by choice. The choice to discipline your thoughts, the choice to silence distractions, the choice to eliminate what's convenient and pursue what's necessary. And when you do, you unlock a kind of power that doesn't need hype or permission. It just moves, breaks through, and commands respect. Because there's something magnetic about a focused human being. People feel it. They sense the certainty, the direction, the drive. You stop trying to prove yourself and start becoming yourself. You stop reacting and start creating. The noise of the world fades, and your internal signal gets stronger. That's the real edge, not talent, not luck, but focus. It's the reason some people rise while others stay stuck. It's the fuel behind every great invention, movement, comeback, and revolution. And it's available to you the moment you decide that your purpose is worth more than your distractions. So ask yourself, what could I build, create, or become if I gave it my full focus? Not someday, now, not occasionally, daily. Because when you focus, truly focus, you start moving at a different frequency. Obstacles shrink, excuses disappear, doubt gets drowned out by action. You become a person on a mission, and nothing is more powerful than that. So cut the noise, kill the distractions, and claim your power. When you focus, you don't just make progress, you become unstoppable.